never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever...
Hey team, got another great question today, and that's from one of my subscribers who mentioned he wants to know more about how to structure middle distance workouts. And his question is, could you do a video over middle distance training sometime? 800 mile, the 800 mile event. I want to figure out how to structure my workout regimen, but I don't know how to allocate my anaerobic versus aerobic workouts. This guy's got a 153 PR for the 800. Would be greatly appreciated. Loving the channel. Thanks so much, Jay, for the question. I think based on what you're doing, having run 153 for the 800, you're nearing an elite level that very few runners ever get to. And even as a middle distance runner, you still need to be working on your endurance. You still need to be focusing, obviously, on working on improving on your raw leg speed. I mean, one of the mistakes I made as a high school athlete, I ran too flat for the 800 as a high school athlete, but never ran it again in college. And I'm sure I probably would have got it down to around where you're at, maybe 154, 156 range. You're obviously showing a lot more leg speed and overall strength than I ever had. And I think in terms of your setting up your training, you do need, I would definitely be working one VO2 max workout per week. So really drilling down on repeat 500s, repeat 600s, repeat thousands on the track, doing one, like I mentioned, one VO2 max workout per week. You can alternate doing one track session and then the following week doing hill repetitions, finding or running over hillier terrain. Maybe find a 4 to 5 mile course that is rolling hills and focusing on working on that your overall leg speed and leg turnover going over hillier terrain, because again, you're activating different muscle groups that you're simply not going to activate by running easy and relaxed. So you're already ahead of the game in terms of your speed. I think to help take you from a 153 to maybe a 149 athlete is one, continuing to really develop that leg speed and working on VO2 max training, but also spend some time every other week, do one tempo run, or anaerobic threshold run, I should say, where you're running around 88 to 92% of your max heart rate, okay? I would work to a point where you could get that anaerobic threshold run out to around 4 miles, okay? Your specialty is basically the 800 and the mile, but think of how much stronger and more strength and stamina you're going to have if you're doing longer AT runs on top of doing your speed workouts each week and your long runs. Okay, definitely without a doubt, even as an 800 miler, those long runs are going to help take you to the next level as a middle distance runner. I look at some of the world's top 800 meter / mile athletes, Peter Snell, Sebastian Coe, and other top middle distance runners train almost as if they're marathon runners. And a lot of this comes out of Kenya. I mean, these athletes are doing, long 30 to 40K long runs, and they're 800 meter specialist. Okay, now granted you may not need to do that for you specifically, but I'm just saying for you to make that next jump, and you're already extremely competitive as a 153 athlete, 800 guy, to go from a 153 to maybe down sub 150, you need to start thinking outside the box. What are the things that my competition more than likely is not doing? And maybe it's emphasizing those long runs, continuing to focus on your speed each week. As I mentioned, do a speed workout one week, the following week do a hill workout, the following week do the speed session, and you alternate that. But the long run, don't get in the habit of running long, slow, and easy every weekend. Train like a marathoner, okay? Even as an 800 miler, if you train like a marathoner, not so much you don't need to be doing 90 to 100 plus miles a week, But those long runs, if you can branch that long run out to say 10 to 12 miles or 10 to 15 miles in length, and you're doing a portion around 50 to 60% of that long run at AT pace or slightly below AT pace, think of how much stronger you're going to be as an 800 meter miler athlete. I mean, really, you're going to take your ability to run fast completely to the next level. I think too, the pacing is key in your race. Doing your very best not to try to win the 800 meter in the first 400 meters of the race. So many runners, including myself when I was in high school and in college when I was training in the 15 and the 5,000 and 3,000, I was trying to run far too aggressive, far too anaerobic in the early stages of the race. Okay, I made the same mistake in the marathon. So as an 800 meter and miler, just to make that small difference in your overall finish time, be a little bit more conservative in the first 400 meters of your 800, or the first 400 meters of your 800, the first 800 meters of your mile or your 1500 meter. Okay, being a little bit more conservative. Also remember, and this is a tip that my collegiate coach Jackson mentioned in one of his presentations, and I'll leave that below. Definitely check that out. He was talking about, like, when you're doing your long runs and you're doing, say, an anaerobic threshold run during the week, i.e. or a tempo run slightly slower than AT pace. But if you're getting stuck in same intensity during your run, speed up a little bit. Or if you're feeling tired in your long run, speed up a little bit for a few seconds, or 100 meters or so, and you're going to activate some of those muscles that have that extra glycogen storage, compared to the other muscle groups that you're using just for staying in that same monotonous pace. If you speed up a little bit more, that'll kind of jolt those additional muscles to give you that additional strength to get through those long runs. A longer buildup in terms of training for a faster 800 meter and a mile, I think is better than a shorter buildup. I think 12 to 16 weeks for an 800 meter miler is key. The longer you can train, the more time you can really specialize in building your overall aerobic base, the better. Okay, the first 4 to 8 weeks of a buildup should be aerobic. Okay, the last half of that buildup should be more focused on volume and intensity. Okay, and doing a 10-day taper. Do a 10-day taper going into your goal 800 or mile. Okay, if you're in college or if you're in high school, it's so much more difficult because you're on a team. And you have a coach that's wanting you to get as many points as possible to help the team, which is great, and that's what's great about being in a team atmosphere, and having a great coach too. Those athletes that you're a part of, that are a part of your team, will help take you to the next level. But when you're racing, and you have to race so many different times throughout the year, it's tough to really focus in on one race. I want to run this specific race at this specific time of the year, and really try to focus on tapering for that race. But if you don't have that choice, just do your best to run very easy 2 days leading into your main races. That way you go into the race fully rested and not fatigued. Okay. There are times where you're going to be training when you are fatigued, and that is in itself can be positive, because again, you can still run fast even with higher volume and still on fatigued legs. But when you save your legs, don't try to race in your workouts. Don't try to be a hero in workouts. Get the work done, challenge the energy systems of the body, but definitely save a little bit for the main race itself. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful for you, Jay. I appreciate your question. In terms of how to structure middle distance workouts, like I mentioned, don't get in the habit of running slow and easy every single weekend for those long runs. Alternate. Run easy one weekend, the next weekend spend a few miles or a few kilometers at your anaerobic threshold, a few seconds to a few meters, maybe 800 meters to 1,000 meters at VO2 max effort. then go back down into jogging, easy aerobic effort, back into AT pace or at tempo pace. Sprinkle in a little bit of different efforts throughout your long run. 1 VO2 max workout per week, alternate. Also do double threshold workouts. I think that's another thing that's really going to help you get to the next level, going maybe from 153 to maybe 148 to 149. Start implementing double threshold workouts. Okay, AM, maybe that means doing 4 to 5K repetitions on the track at goal race pace, or 10 seconds slower than goal race pace. Giving yourself more rest as when you're not as anaerobically fit, less rest when you're more anaerobically fit and you've built that aerobic base. And then in the PM, maybe doing like a 3 to 4 mile tempo run. Okay, so you're doing threshold twice throughout the week, for once per week, and do a double threshold day every other week during your training as well. I think that is definitely another key tactic, I think, that's really going to help you as a middle distance athlete get to the next level in your racing. So hope this video's been helpful for you, Jay, and for all of you that are milers or 800-meter athletes trying to take your racing to the next level. I think some of these things middle distance runners don't always think about. And I think, that long run and getting that mindset, hey, I'm not a marathoner, but if I can start implementing some of these strength and stamina tactics that marathoners use, and some of the great 800-meter milers have used in the past, maybe that can help me get to the next level as an 800-meter miler athlete. So if you have any other questions, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll definitely respond back to you. If you want to take your racing and training to the next level, check out the resources on RunDreamAchieve.com. I'm confident that they will help take you to the next level in your training and your racing. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.